Have to excuse me. I stole a little donut from my daughter.
Donut. Wait, wait.
What you do?
I got the wrong glasses.
Ah, wonderful. All right. I mean, look, this last couple weeks has just been, yeah. Oh, yeah. What's it? Her leaves. She had a dream
about leaves. So now I'm obsessed with this. Here, let me pull this through real quick.
Okay.
And then we can do it, or I'll forget what I was.
Oh, yes, ma'am. We can wait. The world can wait on what do you call that? On needle pointing?
No, this is embroidering.
Embroidering, yes. Okay. First of all, I'm telling you, right? Washington has reached a new low. Absolute insanity. Okay. Now, look, this this when a bill passes for a budget or for money things, evidently you got to have 60 votes to pass the Senate. Now, after your budget gets passed, which his big, beautiful bill, we all remember that, right? Well, it passed, and it leaves a few months until it takes effect at the change of the year. So traditionally, there's a gentleman's agreement. Now, get this right, a gentleman's agreement. It means good people agree generally in good faith. So they have a continuing resolution. These can only be for so long. Now, Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have voted for this continuing resolution before. All right. Well, this time, Chuck Schumer, he wants to get, I think they've drinking the Kool-Aid because he voted for it before. This time he's not. This time he's saying all this other wild stuff. And look, it's either true or it's not true, depending on who you want to listen to. I've looked at the numbers, and yes, I understand what both sides are arguing about. If it stands like it is, my wife will lose health care. All right. And, because she's a legal resident and not a citizen. And, if we've got to do that, that's fine. But what I want to tell you, and then, people are screaming and going absolutely crazy because Trump is modernizing part of the White House at his own expense. Makes no sense. How can you complain about a freebie? But anyway, that's what they're doing, okay? Now, I've been poor all my life. Here, in my older age, we're doing a little bit better than we normally have. And I can tell you, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the one thing that I absolutely understood about being poor was the Democrats will kick you in the nuts every chance they get. These are awful people. All right, who's suffering right now? Children on the WICS program, government employees that were sent home and are not working, food stamp recipients are are suffering. And Chuck Schumer, and he literally sat there, and that other lady with the DNC, they literally sat there and said, well, some people are going to have to suffer. For health care down the line, let me tell you something. Your first obligation is to feed the people. All right. Now, whose fault is it the government shut down? I don't care.
It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. My family won't starve. We'll figure it out. All right. As far as I'm concerned, you keep the government shut down for the rest of my life. You guys suck. Both sides, Democrat, Republican. Anybody that thinks there's a difference between Democrats and Republican, you're just so simple-minded.
You're naive.
But I understand, the Trump derangement syndrome is literally crazy. Every bad thing in the world is not Trump's fault. And, the Democrats have pointed themselves into a certain predicament with this rhetoric. He's Hitler. Look, Hitler arguably was the worst person in the world. Over 60 million deaths can be traced to Adolf Hitler. Think about that. 60 million. Okay? No, I'm not talking 6 million Jews. I'm talking 60 million. All right? World War II. Okay?
There was gypsies that were
everybody,
killed, people of color that were
soldiers
killed.
all the way around.
Yeah,
I mean, Russians. How many Russians died? They don't even know how many Russians died fighting in the Great Patriotic War. So when you use rhetoric like this on simple-minded people who cannot understand that these are talking points, I mean, we've raised the school system is so messed up. You look at these kids and they can't understand getting their feelings hurt and violence. I mean, and it's like, I think that the Democrats have been saying this for so long that they've gone crazy.
I mean, here's the problem, right? If you ask any of these young men or people that say that Trump is just as bad as Hitler, if you ask them who they think the Hitler was, I bet you at least half of them have no idea who Hitler was or what he did. Here is the scariest part of it all. You have a movement of people out there that now are saying that the Holocaust never happened and that it's all something that the Jews brought to themselves, that it was a terror, that nothing happened, and it was overly exaggerated, overly all of this and that. And so what they're doing is, in essence, slowly but surely trying to erase some horrible history, so that, you know, when you see these things now, you're like, oh, well, you know, Hitler, well, he wasn't that bad. I mean, it's all a lie anyways. And so, you know, you get you kids, and why, okay, something that we figured out, okay, by the time your child is in middle school or so, he has probably learned just about everything he needs to know in order to move on to college, okay? He does, depending on whatever field he wants to go into. He or she already knows a whole lot of things, okay? But why do we need to keep our kids 8 hours a day? What is it? 12 years in the school?
Yeah.
Because it takes that long to take a normal human being, free thinking human being,
and radicalize
them and turn them into a drone that doesn't know how to think for themselves. One of the biggest things that your kid needs to know is how to troubleshoot things, how to learn how to think for themselves. Yeah. They don't want that. No, they're just gonna tell them exactly, and it's a feedback loop, right? You teach them what you want, test them on what you want, and if they come up with a different idea, you give them an F. But if they do exactly how you want them to, you give them an A.
Right.
It's all in and of itself.
It's just crazy. I don't know how any adult can sit there and actually look at what's going on and what has gone on and rationalize this. They had a resolution that went in front of the Senate today to pay the salaries of government employees that have to work, that just can't go home, right? In other words, pay them. Military, things of this nature, right? And the Democrats, every single one of them, except for John Fetterman, said, no, don't pay the government, or don't pay these employees, even though they're forced to work. They're not furloughed. They didn't go home. No, they have to work. And the Democrats, every one of them, like I said, except for John Fetterman, said no. There was a resolution that went forward and said, hey, let's at least keep the food stamps program going so these people can eat. The Democrats voted no. All right. I get it. They want this Medicare thing. What I would really like to see happen, and it's just me, but I would like to see no leverage, no BS, no crazy stuff. I would like to see them get this government back open and then sit together and negotiate honestly on healthcare, because I'm 65 years old and they've been arguing about healthcare since I was a kid. We pay more money than any other country in the world for healthcare, and nobody has any healthcare that's worth anything. I mean, there's a sick corruption in Washington, D.C., both of them, Republicans and Democrats. It's nasty.
Yeah.
And look, I don't understand. You guys argued because Trump put a freaking flagpole up. Like, really? That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Now you're arguing because he's building a ballroom in the East Wing. What happens in the East Wing of the White House? Well, that's the First Lady's office. That's where they do receptions and things of this nature. And they got this little dinky room. They've been talking for 150 years about expanding the White House, right? Trump is doing it. It's not costing the taxpayers a dollar. And now you object to that. How can you object to that? This dude's not taking a paycheck. Even his press secretary doesn't take a paycheck. It's costing you literally nothing. And you're complaining. I don't get it. That is just, dare I say the word, retarded. Just like shutting the government down. Look, you're not going to get anything done if you can't even agree to keep the government open.
I know.
Yeah, you guys are terrible. I'm talking to you too, Republicans. This is ridiculous.
Well, and again, we keep saying over and over again, is this idea that there's a good side and a bad side.
No.
They're both bad.
They're bad.
Sorry, they're both terrible. They're all out to enrich themselves.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't have your best interest in mind. They don't. Why? Because you have this thing called a lobbyist. Okay? They're there to make the companies, to advocate for the companies so that they can make money. Okay? So they're not there. The lobbyist is not there to lobby for a company because they're going to be more environmentally friendly. They're going to be this and that. No, they're there so that the congressman or senator or whatever pushes through agendas that benefit those people.
I mean, just try that. I can't work this through my head. Someone explain to me how you're okay with Barack Obama spending $370 million to do a renovation to the White House, okay? This is a fact that happened in 2015. So tell me how you're okay with him spending government money to do that. Mm-hmm. And then Trump is doing a renovation to the White House that's not costing us anything, and you're upset. Holy cow. Do you understand? That's like a 5-year-old logic.
Yeah, but they don't want to hear it.
Anyway, I mean, it's the craziest thing. And I mean, it doesn't matter, and it's like, I heard that Hakeem, whatever. Yeah, he's on there and he goes, we know this is legal. We know he can do this doing the White House, but we're going to investigate it anyway. We're going to investigate everyone who donated money to improve the White House. Mm-hmm. That just happened today. He said that. He knows it's legal, but they're going to investigate anyway. It's just ridiculous.
They're wasting your money. I say we need to do away with the whole government thing.
Oh, man.
Let's go.
Let's just all promise to be good.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Amen for that.
And look, defense is built. I got a better idea. Why can't we just fence in Chicago and Austin and Dallas and LA? Just build a fence around that stuff so no one can get out. We don't need the crazies running through the country.
No.
Are you sure?
That's kind of like bad.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, it's liberal logic.
They're also children made in the image of
God. Yes.
So
but I mean, it's like you guys I don't even understand how you can complain about that. But I'm telling you right now, I don't know how, but I know there's a way the Republicans could open the government without the Democrats. Mm-hmm. I know there has to be a way. All right. But they're not doing it. Why? Because they are out to destroy the Democrats. And look, guys, don't get holier than thou. You started in 2016 to do the same thing to the Republicans. And look, everybody, MAGA. Do you understand what that means? It means make America great. It wants everybody to prosper, everybody, including you people that are screaming MAGA. That's all it means. You're deranged. You drank the Kool-Aid. And I can understand someone that's not in the government drinking that Kool-Aid and being, getting Trump derangement syndrome because the liberal media jumped in on it. Everybody you know is a libtard. I'm, I'm just saying, okay? But now you've got the actual Democratic Party has drank this Kool-Aid. They're all nuts now. All right, even the leadership. Here's how silly this looks to me. The House, the House of Representatives, the Democrats, voted on this continuous resolution. They voted yes. Hakeem himself voted yes, keep the government over. Right? Now it goes to the Senate, and the Senate is voting against it. Now, all of a sudden, people that voted to keep the government open are out there screaming about closing the government. Here's what's going to happen. Chuck Schumer is going to wind up looking stupid. That's why he can't back down right now, because AOC is probably going to run against him, and I believe she'll take his seat.
Yeah.
So, now you're going to have the squad in a more powerful position than they are now. It's like you guys are imploding, okay? You're opening the door for a third party.
I'd like to talk about, can we take a moment to talk about
Lord and Savior Jesus. No.
Candace Owen?
Okay. Oh, Jesus.
She's not well.
She's not well. No, she ain't.
Someone that knows someone, please go check in on her.
Yes.
Where on earth is her husband? He sounded like a reasonable human being. I mean, that video she just did talking about how she thinks that she's going to, the Trump killed Charlie Kirk, and that somehow she's next or whatever. She's not wearing any makeup. I mean, she's an attractive woman, so you can get past that, the fact that she's not wearing makeup, but she looks deranged.
She drank the Kool-Aid.
I don't know what's going on with her, but she looks crazy. And look,
yes.
I am all for her having a platform, having her opinions said out loud, all the things. She's articulate, smart, all of that. But girlfriend is going nuts.
She's crazy.
And someone needs to check in on her. Where is her husband? What's going on with her children?
He's probably hiding.
I'm thinking. I saw him argue with Alibet Staki about religion and stuff like that. And he seemed smart, articulate, calm, cool, and collected. What's going on? What is going on with her? Anyways, that's all I have.
But I mean, it's like, normally it's like, you catch a little politician. Oh my God. It's like you guys are like purposely right now, the Democrats are trying to destroy the country. All right. And if you don't believe me, they voted 12 times to shut it down. All right. They keep this wild fantasy. The Republicans want to work on health care. You want to work on health care, but you don't want to do it honestly. You don't want to sit down and negotiate. Here's the difference between 2025 and 1776. Our founding fathers were not a bunch of old white dudes. That's a myth of a liberal education. They were young men, and most of them, well, the vast majority, I think they said the age was 25. Okay? Babies. The vast majority of them paid with their lives, their land, and their money, their liberty, their money. The vast majority of them suffered horribly for this. But you know what the problem here is? They were far more mature than what we have in Washington right now. They understood the beauty of a two-party system, compromise. But somewhere along Nancy Pelosi, they forgot how to compromise and win gracefully. Then it just became destroy. They're at war. Instead of thinking about what's good for the country, they think about what's good for their pockets. All right? These people it's gone. All right? They forgot how to negotiate. They forgot how to compromise. They forgot how to talk. The rhetoric coming out of the Democratic Party right now in Washington for the last 10 years, if my child talked like that, I'd wash his mouth out with soap. I mean, and it's and the worst is when your leaders act like this, what do you think the people, just normal people who happen to be Democrats, are thinking? They're just, you can't talk to them. There's, if you give evidence, they won't listen to it. Here's your Democrat. If I don't believe it, it's not true. If I don't get my way, it's not legal. And no matter what you say, they'll keep arguing, saying things that are not true.
Although, to be fair,
Uh,
there's a lot of that
in the
element
Republican
in
Party?
Republicans. I
Yeah,
think
absolutely.
It goes both ways.
It does.
If it's not my way, then it's got to be the.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to the compromise.
Anyways.
Yes, anyways, we talked long enough. My son's standing over there in the corner trying to go to work, and he don't want to walk past the camera.
Yeah.
So God bless you, everybody.
God bless. Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let me see. I put that button down.
No.
No? Oh, what?
That's the wrong thing.
That's the wrong thing? Wait.
Deleted the whole video.
No, I didn't.
No.
No, it's there. Okay.
And